Hello, you absolute legends. Welcome back to the channel. It's John here, and I've got 3 words for you. Massive coolant leak. Yeah. I am in the TT Mk1. Remember, if you haven't seen the videos on the channel already, Dad and I spent a good couple of weeks getting it all back up and running, and now I have got a massive coolant leak. In this video then, we're going to try and diagnose the issue, fix the issue, and see what on earth is going on. So I've just rolled the car into the garage. Let's shut that. We are in Dad's workshop. This TT, bless it, has spent quite a particular amount of time in this workshop recently, due to the fact that, well, we had to do quite a bit of work. First things first, before we even start looking at the potential coolant issue, the car has been off the road for 2 or 3 weeks, and the battery is no good. So I am going to put the battery on charge. That is the first plan of action. Get that battery on charge, and then we can start to try and diagnose what the coolant issue is. As you can see, and there will be zero coolant in here. Just let the air out of there. Nada. Nothing. Empty. Gone. I know roughly where it's leaking from, the front of the car, where it's coming from on the drip tray, but the system, well, I've got absolutely no idea where it's coming from. Anyway, let's get the car on charge. That can be doing that whilst we try and identify the issue. Battery charger is here. It's from 1927, as you can see, but it does the job. 12-volt battery. What we've got 4 at the moment. It's going to just charge that battery up while we're working. Dad's here with the Audi TT. How are you feeling about having the Audi TT back in the workshop?
I thought it was a silver one.
What do you mean you thought it was a silver one?
I thought it was a silver one, to be fair.
No, I've sold the silver one.
Oh, yeah.
You can't keep track of them all.
No.
Too many.
Yeah, I can't keep track of it.
Here it is. Right, get plan of action, I suppose. We're going to take these covers off. We're going to try and find, as Dad described it, the epicenter as to where the coolant is coming from. It's quite a major leak. I'm hoping there will be some sort of evidence of where it's coming from. So first port of call is getting these trims off. They're coming off. Dad's taking this one off. I'm taking these ones off. This is the coolant housing. You can see down here. We're going to obviously start probably down here. Maybe it's just not sat properly on there. And then trace the system all the way through. There's a radiator and an intercooler all down here under this piece. So it could be on there. These are the stainless steel nuts and bolts that we're taking off. But at the moment we're just getting to a position where we can see what we're doing. Okay, so battery covers off, all this covers off, all the plastic covers are now off the car. And an initial inspection and chasing it back from sort of the coolant bottle all the way down the radiator pipes, we were hoping to be able to see where the leak was actually coming from. And, well, we've discovered this. I don't know if you can see that, but there is quite a catastrophic leak coming down here and down here, which we're just trying to work our way towards now. But there is coolant all over, all that down there, sort of sitting on top of the housing there. It could be this pipe, it could be the thermostat down here, the pipe. So yeah, we are working towards getting to see that. I don't know if you can see it down there, but that, we think, is the epicenter, shall we say. We've just now got to find out just where it's coming from. And so to get to that area, we are taking the airbox out. And you can see here is the source of the problem. Right here. Sort of gone squishy and horrible, and it's probably just rotted. If you remember, on the previous video, there was oil everywhere, like all over the engine bay, because of the split pipes and stuff like that, and it's just probably just perished, that pipe. We'll take it off, we'll have a look. We've got coolant everywhere, but it is just pissing out the system there.
Is that a technical term?
But yeah, not great that. Look at that, beautiful. So you can see that the end of that hose is rotten. It's all turned to sludge, a bit like the PCV system that we have just replaced. That is a water hose, and we didn't go in and replace any water hoses because, well, at the time we didn't know there was any water hose issues. Clearly us being in there and disturbing things when we've built the PCV system back up has exasperated that problem. What are we going to do? Well, we could probably replace it with a brand new water hose. But it's just on the end of that hose. I'm thinking potentially, as a temporary fix, we could chop the end of that hose off. As long as there's no splits or cuts in the hose, which obviously I don't think there is. That is a potential quick fix until we order a genuine hose or a silicone hose to replace that one. Well, we may be lucky, we may be not. We've trimmed the end of that pipe, put it back on. It's a double pipe, it's like a joined pipe that goes to the oil cooler. The water is all over the gearbox here, but I've just sprayed that off, that's what I'm doing now. Could be that this T connector here, this plastic connector here is faulty. Could just be that since we've fixed the car and it's now working fine, that it's because I'm driving it hard, I am driving it hard, there's just dislodged a previous issue to there. We're going to hang the airbox back on and fill it full of coolant and see if it's done the trick. This is the piece of the pipe that we've cut off. I don't know if you can see it there. Can you see it there? There it is. Turned all to mush at the top here. It's sticky and bleh. Look, it's all just falling apart in my hands. So hopefully the bit we've cut off hasn't modified the car in any way. You know, we've lost 2 centimetres of the pipe. Hopefully that has fixed the problem. These TTs take a specific coolant. This is a G12 Plus coolant, which is quite cheap. I think we got 10 ready-made litres for 10 quid. Just going to top it up and see how we get on. Hopefully it doesn't start chucking water everywhere. Coolant's topped up. Battery adapter's on. Go on then, fire her up. Well, at least it starts. That's the main thing. Well, so far so good. We've got the car running, as you can hear, and we're just going to let it get to pressure. But where we've reattached it to the block and to that pipe, it doesn't seem to be leaking. We've cleaned it all off with a rag, so if it does leak, we will know. Saying that, it could be leaking when the car is cold, which is when I've noticed it leaking out. But at the moment, fingers crossed, we are so far so good. Well, best laid plans of mice and men and all that. Can you see that dripping? I'm sure you can. So we've located a problem further up. I'm sure that pipe wasn't helping, the fact that it was damaged, but the elbow that it connects into is actually cracked, and if I can show you, I will. So what you're looking at is the mirror underneath that elbow that Dad's got in place, and you can see the water dripping off it. There is a big crack in that plastic elbow. So it's not going to be a 2-minute fix. Right, so what's the problem? What we've got to do? We've identified that it is the coolant flange down here that's leaking. We've done a lot of flange work this week.
Yeah, no, but flange work.
No, flange work all week.
The word flange.
So Dad's going to whip the flange off. Is it something you think you can repair?
No.
No, so we're going to whip it off to get the part number off it so we can order a new one. It's going to be, what, I don't know, 25 quid, hopefully, for one. We shall soon find out when we get the part number. The good news is it is chucking water everywhere in the process of removing this. It was always going to be. Out of there, we've obviously just filled it back up. So now I've got to order some more G12. That's the least of my worries right now. Well, here it is. This is the thing that's causing all the problem. It's like a coolant elbow flange. We've taken it off to get the part number off. So there's 2 cracks in there. Tell me more. I can't see the cracks.
The moulding lines, it's cracked, isn't it?
Let's have a look.
It's been made.
It's very hot. So it's leaking from there.
All along that line.
All along there. Which, yeah, you can feel it with your thumbnail. Is that something we can plastic weld?
Nope, a new one.
New one incoming. Let's see how much one of them is. So I've just ordered one from eBay, Febby Bilstein at 1. It's 12 quids from a supplier. It's going to get here sort of in a day or 2. Could have bought one from China for £6.85, but waiting for it is probably going to be 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, so that is a lot cheaper than I expected. There's clearly a problem with these because there's quite a few people selling them, and it does say on the internet that replacing this does fix the very common gearbox and coolant leak, which is clearly a problem. Genuine one from Audi, I did check, £45. This is, what is this?
It's a temperature transmitter.
There you go, temperature transmitter. That you don't get with. I'm going to have to replace that, but it's come out okay. Now what do we do? Well, we've got to wait now. The TT is stuck in Dad's workshop again for another few days. I am going to buy one of these pipes, the one that we trimmed, because why wouldn't we while we're there? That's probably going to cost about 20, 25 quid.
On the road.
Dad's not overly impressed that the TT is stuck in his workshop again for 3 or 4 days. I won't lie, neither am I, because I want to be using the car. I was enjoying driving it until I developed this massive coolant leak. And obviously it's been sat for a couple of weeks. The good news is it gives us an opportunity to charge the battery. So at least we know the problem. That is part 1 then of the massive coolant leak. I think part 2 will be fitting it and putting it back together. Not as easy as we'd hoped, but it's so far cost me, I don't know, 30 quid. And then we've got some coolant on the way. If you've enjoyed the video, thumbs up please. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. It's going to be busy, I think, with this TT on the channel. Have a great day, whatever you're getting up to. Take care. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.